Okay guys, this is a quick video just to check this homework. I think it's easier for you to see it visually, so I did a separate video. Okay, this first one, you should have underlined walking down the street. That's the participle phrase. And it is a misplaced participle because the who or what walking down the street is present in the sentence. It's just not next to the participle. It sounds like the accident is walking down the street. So to correct this, you just need to move the participle or move the noun or pronoun so they're next to each other. So I chose to move the participle, walking down the street, comma, because it's an opener, I saw an accident. Okay? It would sound weird to say, I, walking down the street, saw an accident. So you want to go with what is most direct, least awkward. Okay? Second one, freshly painted is your participle phrase, and it is misplaced because what is freshly painted is in the sentence, it's just misplaced. So we need to move freshly painted and room next to each other. And there's a couple ways you could do this. One is Jim left the freshly painted room to dry. Okay, we could put that in there. Or you could say Jim left the room, comma, freshly painted, comma, to dry. It's non-essential, so if it comes after the noun, it would be set apart by commas. Okay? Okay, so awkward for me to hold and try to maneuver. Okay, so then playing pool in the living room, the radio was turned on by Jim. So your participle phrase you'll see is playing pool in the living room. And this is misplaced again because what it modifies is in the sentence. It modifies Jim, but it's just not placed close to Jim. So you need to shuffle it around so the participle is next to the noun, Jim, that it modifies. So one way, playing pool in the living room, comma, Jim turned on the radio. That's probably the best way to do it. It sounds the smoothest, it's the most direct. But you could say Jim, comma, playing pool in the living room, comma, turned on the radio. You do not want to say the radio was turned on by Jim playing pool in the living room. Actually, you could do that with this. I'm trying to avoid teaching passive voice, but that keeps the sentence in passive voice. And just maybe the guideline is be direct as you can in your sentences. Okay, and then number 4, exhausted and weary is your participle phrase. And that is misplaced because again, excuse me, what it's modifying, what it's modifying is in the sentence. It's modifying marathon runners, okay? So we need to move it closer to marathon runners. So the crowd, not the crowded, the crowd cheered on the exhausted and weary marathon runners. Or you could say the crowd cheered on the marathon runners, comma, exhausted and weary. Either way. Okay, so lastly, number 5 is your dangling. The participle phrase is grocery shopping at Food Lion, and it's dangling because there is no noun or pronoun who is grocery shopping at Food Lion. We know it's not the lettuce, and that's the only noun in the sentence. So it's dangling. It doesn't have a noun or pronoun to modify, and so you have to create one. So grocery shopping at Food Lion, comma, I find the lettuce is always fresh. You could say grocery shopping at Food Lion, Marvin believes the lettuce is always fresh. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. When you have a dangling participle, you do have to create a word. But again, I want to remind you, you keep the participle in place. It's really easy to flip a participle into a clause. For example, you could say, as I grocery shop at Food Lion, I find the lettuce is always fresh. And now you've turned grocery shopping at Food Lion, a phrase, into a clause, as a dependent clause, as I grocery shop at Food Lion. So that is perfectly fine when you're editing, but this is a participle exercise. I'm trying to teach you how to use participles properly So you want to make sure that you're keeping the participle phrase intact, even if you have to add words to the sentence. Okay, that's all on this.